A very, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and guests of our IMDA webinar on the topic of Future of Commerce Beyond Reality. My name is Ting Hong, the facilitator, as well as the host for today's webinar. So before the webinar begins, there's a couple of house rules just to keep today's session running as smoothly as possible. Now, first of all, please be informed that this webinar will be recorded and that all our microphones will be set automatically on mute throughout the entire session. However, we do welcome your response and feedback definitely, and most definitely your questions throughout the entire session. So you may submit any questions that you might have for our speakers on the Zoom Q&A function, which you'll be able to find at the bottom bar of your Zoom app. Now, not to worry, you can send them absolutely at any time during the presentations, and it will be collated and answered towards the end of the presentation. So once again, we welcome any questions that you might have for the speakers on the Q&A function. The Zoom chat function, however, is reserved specifically for any technical issues. So if you are unable to hear the speakers clearly or unable to see any graphics or visuals that's put on screen, please reach out to us via Zoom chat instead. So Zoom Q&A strictly for the questions and Zoom chat just for any technical issues that you might face, which we certainly hope not so. Thank you so much for that. And of course, if you're interested in any future events and webinars that are similar to these hosted by IMDA, you may visit their website, LinkedIn, as well as, most importantly, the mailing list, which you can join via the QR code that we will be showing shortly on screen. So this QR code will lead you to the mailing list in which you can be informed of the upcoming events brought to you by IMDA Pixel, both physical as well as virtual. Now, let me just give you a glimpse of what's going to happen with IMDA on the virtual platform coming up really, really soon. So on 17th May, I believe we do have an AI in action on digital storytelling with ease. That is the topic of the webinar upcoming. And on 24th May, we will be talking about design thinking as well as sustainability on innovating for a sustainable and empathetic future. So these are just some of the webinars coming up your way. There are many, many more. And if you sign up for the mailing list, of course, you will be informed of all these wonderful events and at the same time stay connected with IMDA as well as the entire innovation ecosystem. Now, before we begin, I'd just like to quickly run through today's program. So we have two speakers with us here today, and each of them will be sharing their experiences. And after the sharing, we will have 5 minutes of question and answer session after each speaker. I just want to remind everyone once again that you can post your questions ahead of time whenever the speaker is still delivering the presentation. That will not affect the presentation at all. The questions will be collated and answered after his or her presentation. So at about 2:05, we'll be starting really, really soon on a sharing by Byte Plus. And they will be speaking, our speaker, Mr. Jeremy Ang, will be speaking on the extended reality for commerce. Is it a hype or a need? You will understand it straight from the horse's mouth, straight from Byte Plus, straight from Mr. Jeremy Ang. And moving on to our second speaker, it will be Ms. Belle Bay from Buzz AR. She's none other than founder of Buzz AR as well. So she'll be talking a little bit more about the next generation of e-commerce, which is meta commerce. Once again, feel free to ask any questions that's pertaining to your business or possible collaboration with Buzz AR or Byte Plus as well. Now, last but not least, there will be a sharing by IMDA with regards to IMDA Pixel as well. And for that, we will be inviting Janice Lim from IMDA Pixel to share more about IMDA innovation and how IMDA can be part of your corporate and digital transformation journey. There are lots of grants, lots of programs to get you onboarded and familiarized and acquainted and also mentored for the entire digital transformation journey. So don't be shy and please reach out to IMDA. They also have a space of about 28,000 square feet of innovation space, such as the 5G testing lab. They also have AR, VR, and MR related equipment, which potentially you can also tap on your digital transformation journey. So once again, we will be starting really, really soon, and we're really happy to have you join us this afternoon. Please feel free to keep in touch with the speakers as well as to keep in touch with IMDA alongside your digital transformation journey by following us and scanning the QR code for our mailing list. So Janice later, towards the end of the presentation, will share more about what IMDA has to offer as a whole on your digital transformation journey with regards to grants, with regards to mentorship, with regards to any guidance, as with regards to space, as well as equipment and resources that you can tap on to make it a smoother journey for you and your company to journey towards with us on this digital transformation journey. And of course, this webinar might be the start of this all. So ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting really, really soon. In fact, I think we're right on time on 2:05 right now. So we shall be starting the webinar right now. And of course, once again, for any of you who have just joined us, my name is Ching Hong, and I will be your MC as well as facilitator for today. Now, welcome to join us on this webinar of the future of commerce beyond reality. So please be informed once again that the webinar will be recorded and microphones will be automatically set on mute throughout the entire session. Most definitely welcome questions during the Q&A segment. But please, please, please post your questions whenever you have them, any burning questions through the Q&A platform. Please do not type them on the Zoom chat, as the Zoom chat is strictly reserved for any technical issues and technical issues only. Now, in this webinar, we will discuss the proliferation of advertising in the rapidly evolving and competitive commercial world that has led to an increased emphasis in engaging audience. How do we engage them? That is one key question that we have. And the advertising scene has seen a widespread interest and adoption of immersive technologies among various consumer brands that you might have seen, like Starbucks, IKEA, to deliver richer experiences in connecting with their customers. So do stay tuned to find out how immersive technologies have been permeating the advertising and branding industry, and more importantly, how they can be used to drive your business to success. Now, our first speaker is Mr. Jeremy Ang. He's the Director of Global Technology Alliances at ByteDance, which I'm sure its name is no stranger to. Jeremy is in charge of building technology alliances globally for Byte Plus, the enterprise technology arm of ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, of course. The company offers cutting-edge technologies that are driven by computer vision for augmented reality, speech, music, and audio intelligence, as well as other advanced video capabilities. I'm sure on the consumer front, just by having your TikTok and Douyin, you are able to witness the crazy and very, very innovative technologies presented by ByteDance. But today, we will show how you can actually apply these respective technologies to your own business as well, such as enhancements, recognition, and interactive experiences that can even help your customers to try on products virtually. I'm really excited about this. I'm sure you are too. Once again, we will be welcoming Mr. Jeremy Ang, and feel free to ask him any questions on the Q&A function anytime throughout the presentation. Let's welcome the Director of Global Technology Alliances at ByteDance, Mr. Jeremy Ang, our first speaker. Jeremy, please.
Hey, thank you, Ching Hong. Thanks for the warm introduction. Yeah, let me just share my slides. I'm definitely excited to share what we have. Okay, can everyone see this?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, so I guess most of you are here today to understand how the progress of extended reality, or what we call XR, over the last 2 years, right? Most of us have seen the entire hype cycle, but really, is this a hype or a need for commerce? I think let's dive deeper into this. But maybe before we start, let me give a quick intro about myself. I know Ching Hong gave some background, but I came from an ex-founder kind of background with early stage VC. I joined a Shanghai headquartered VC back in 2015. And then I moved on to late stage tech investments at a pre-IPO level. And then looking at strategic M&A for ByteDance. And of course, I was also born and bred, and I'm born and bred in Singapore. Was doing quantitative economics in the US before moving on to tech. So if you want to get connected with me, just feel free to scan the QR code over there to my LinkedIn profile. But before we start, maybe let me also give a brief intro on what Byte Plus is. So I think over the last 10 years, ByteDance, we have been pretty good at building B2C technology. We've got about 50 different applications right now in the market, right? But most of us know TikTok the best on a global scale. But of course, there's much more than that. And what we are trying to do at ByteDance is to diversify also to enterprise technology. We are taking lessons from AWS and Microsoft to look into the other spaces where we have strong advantages in. So because we have been developing a lot of internal technologies ourselves, right now it makes a lot of sense also to start commercializing and providing this to global clients. So for example, because of all our video consumption in the world, right now we are the unofficially number one consumer of global CDN network, right? So it only makes sense for us to also start selling this excess capacity. And when we talk about enterprise technology, what do we really mean? So for Byte Plus, we are taking bits and pieces out from our entire arsenal of tech platforms to offer to global clients. We put them into two buckets, one for growth and one for optimization. So for growth, you have stuff like our recommendation engine. This is made famous by some of our apps like TikTok, right? We recommend you videos based on your user profile. We have an entire video tech stack that we now offer to e-commerce companies as well, right? Whatever you see on TikTok, all the filters, we've got 70,000 of them now offered to gaming companies, media companies. And later we'll talk more about AR try-on, right? And of course, an entire media creativity kit includes video editors, speech to text, text to speech, music libraries, our machine learning translation. That's for growth. So companies focusing on new growth channels, trying to pivot, trying to rethink how they can penetrate the market in new ways. We have products around that area for B2C companies. And of course, on the optimization front, this year particularly important for most tech companies alike, for both cost and performance optimization. We've got our data platforms to help optimize your cloud usage. We've got our global content delivery network, which includes SMS and CDN. Conceptualizing business value. So this is really driven by a mistaken user intent. Why? What does this really mean? So if you were to take a helicopter view of the entire retail landscape, you can use this framework to further segment the type of retail platform or company you are, right? So on the left axis, you have chore shopping or pleasure shopping. Chore shopping is perhaps looking at recurring grocery sort of purchases, right? Things that you are buying on a more regular basis that has to be done, right? And then further down, you see pleasure shopping. This is where you have fashion, where you have cosmetics, where you are out there experimenting, looking for new things. And most of the time, you don't really know what you want or what's out there, right? And because of this, there are two very clear user intents. One is very search driven. If you look at the top axis, search driven, and the other is discovery driven. So with these two different variants, we see the best combination for XR implementation is on the bottom two squares. That's where you have pleasure shopping that's still possibly search driven, right? You still need to try stuff, but it's search driven, or it's discovery driven, and most of the time you don't know what you really like along the way as you buy new things. So I'll touch on this a little more and maybe spend more time in Q&A to answer some questions. But maybe let's go through some fundamental technologies that we are really good at right now, and we're seeing traction in the market. First off is AR try-on to really bridge the physical and virtual worlds. So we have very low latency and high tracking capabilities for our AR technology, right? And we are using this on the retail front. All sorts of products, really. Sneakers, watches. We're working with top brands, top luxury brands to come up with product renders and to put them onto their retail platforms. You're talking about hats, eyeglasses. Right now, we're experimenting with different fabric flows, and that's for more sophisticated sort of SKU for fashion. So what kind of benefits does this really give to the user? First of all, you really get to try products, maybe not at the best kind of resolution that you would like, right? But it gives you a sense of whether whether it's going to look ridiculous or not, whether it's going to complement your skin color, right? Face shape. So it at least gives you a parameter for filtering your choices, right? And this really helps when you are overwhelmed with choices on the platform. Secondly, with precision product recreation, this is for luxury products in particular. So what you see here in these three short clips are just demo images, right? For actual clients, we do high-res rendering, right? Whether the metal is going to shine the right way under certain lighting, whether the fabric texture can be shown accurately on mobile with low latency. These are some of the areas that we are looking at to really bring the realism out of all these renders. And this has really helped in some of the conversion rates on online platforms. And last of all, it really brings in a business benefit of lower return rates and refunds. I think this is key for a lot of e-commerce companies where refund is a non-question. The moment you don't like the product, you can push it back. This is still a tremendous cost to most e-commerce companies, and they are looking at all ways to reduce this cost. So this is AR try-on, and of course, we are looking also at other spheres of AR, right? At TikTok, as we know, we have 70,000 filters, all sorts of use cases. But now in particular, we are getting more requests from cosmetic companies to allow users to quickly try on nail color, lipstick color, blush colors on mobile optimized experiences. And this, I think, is particularly interesting. The key concern here is whether technology can catch up to provide a very low latency and realistic experience. And this, for one, I think we have been doing very well, better than most competitors. And that's because of our machine learning kind of background. Our algorithms for tracking has been far exceeding a lot of benchmarks. And this has been pretty useful in the way we can implement for some of our global clients. But of course, is XR alone enough? I would say in most cases, this is definitely just the tip of the iceberg. To fully enable a better user experience, you normally will have to complement this with other e-commerce tools. So what are we also seeing in the market is also is a combination of this sort of technologies. So what other areas are we also looking at? So in most places, I think the idiosyncratic conditions of the retail space is different in different countries, right? The Japanese market is very different from the Korean market, very different from the Southeast Asian market, for example. So maybe let's take a closer look at some of this. But ByteDance as a whole, what we are seeing is two macro trends that's really happening, right? So first of all, it's the leveraging of video as a rich media kind of channel. So if you look at all ByteDance technology, you'll realize that there is a lot of implementation of UGC, user-generated content. This can be seen in our car marketplaces, in our news aggregation applications, and our social media apps like TikTok. It's one of the lowest cost ways to gain organic retention. That's lowering your cost of acquisition on your platform. And this has been very, very successful in creating that sort of network effect to pull cross apps or cross platform kind of synergies, right? The other thing is live streaming video. This is taking the market by storm. And I think most of you would have heard about TikTok Shop, right? TikTok Shop is an evolution of social media into commerce, right? This is really powered by live streaming technology, and the combination of that with an e-commerce capability and connecting this to logistics and payments seamlessly. So when we entered the market with live shopping, Most competitors thought, it's probably a little too late for ByteDance to enter the e-commerce space. But I think over the last 1-2 years, the market has proven otherwise. TikTok Shop alone in the last 1 year, since it launched in Southeast Asia, we grew to 4 billion GMV and still going. So this on that front, I think it's a very optimistic kind of view that we take on the market for live streaming technology combined with e-commerce. And for Byte Plus, we are right now providing this very technology to e-commerce companies. And the second thing that is very powerful is machine learning recommendations. So if you look at a typical e-commerce site, you will see the recommended for you kind of panel, or the you might also like kind of panel. From what we understand and based on our research and data points, you only can get this wrong between 3 to 4 times before the user completely ignores that portion, right? And this portion is highly, highly important for e-commerce companies to increase their basket size on a very peripheral growth channel, right? So if I think not many or even any company in the market right now is doing this. We are offering our recommendation engine, the very fundamental technology that powers the one in Douyin, Toutiao, and TikTok. We are providing this to media and e-commerce companies right now to increase their view time, to increase their gross merchandise value and click-through rates. In fact, some of the big retail and media companies in Asia are already using this particular engine that we provide from Byte Plus, and it has shown very, very strong results. So this is definitely an area where we think can be combined very closely with the other technologies that we are talking about for e-commerce, right? It's really rethinking the notion of discovery rather than search. So it's also shifting user behavior and accommodating to that shift in the space moving forward. So because of time, we don't have much to share today on the product front, but I'm leaving more time for Q&A. So we spoke briefly about some of these products, but ultimately, how can we ensure that the e-commerce experience is truly elevated on the O2O front is connecting tech to user value. I think if we are using technology such as XR for the sake of it without solving a true customer pain point, it will be in vain. So I would strongly suggest for most companies to really look at technology that does serve a solution to pain points rather than just following the market to experiment. So experimentation is definitely a process, and from there you can really refine whether the business will need that moving forward. So this is really all I have for today. I'm leaving more time for Q&A. I already see some questions, so yeah, happy to take them on.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. That is really, really insightful. Particularly for me was the search or discovery driven. It just segments it into such a clear, different fields. And on that, we talk about like discovery versus search. There is really, really a lot of value that you have provided in your insights. Thank you so much for that. And I'm sure, TikTok as well as ByteDance being the leader of, discovery driven, just having this content pushed out to the users, sometimes we do feel that this app understands us better than we understand ourselves. And that's really, really something that's really powerful. So one of the guests that we have, Miss Amy McDonald, was asking what are some of the trends that you are seeing in terms of AR, VR, and XR coming to the mass market. I believe you spoke about like leveraging of video as a rich media, embedded user-generated content, live stream shopping, and machine learning recommendations. But specifically on this, is there any other thing that you would like to expand on to explain to Amy a little bit more about the trends that you see?
So maybe I'll say this off the record as well. For ByteDance, we can't use the word metaverse. So that's why we only use extended reality, and that's also because of the use cases that we see. How I feel massive trends will happen is when you hit an inflection point in mass adoption. And for particularly, I think AR, we already are seeing that in certain use cases, right? For VR in particular, I think there are a couple of catalysts still waiting to be in place before all this happens. So much like how short video exploded, right? It was both on a hardware front and a software front. You need to merge the two before UGC can happen. And mass adoption, I believe, can only happen through UGC for VR. And that's connecting hardware to software. So you need a very simple, creative platform for users to create their own VR. And this is going to be powered by hardware that allows this to happen, right? Much like how smartphones empowered video on a very short format. And without this happening, I don't think there will be mass adoption. So, ByteDance is working very hard to make some of these things fall into place in the coming years. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think definitely ByteDance has done a great job in creating this very user-friendly as well as attractive platforms that users love to create content on, and is evident based on the number of new content that's coming on a daily basis, and is absolutely on fire, I would say. Yeah, and of course, when we talk about user value, which you mentioned earlier also, so I'm looking at the Byte Plus website, and I do see a lot of function. Just asking from a layman perspective, perhaps from the perspective of a small and medium enterprise. So, is there a possibility to integrate all these technologies on a local platform that they might have, for example, an app that they might have or a website they might have, in driving their own digital innovation forward?
Yes, definitely. So when talking to a company, I think every CTO or tech team will have to weigh the ROI of building it themselves or buying it, right? So every technology that you develop by yourselves is either proprietary because you need it to be proprietary, or whether it's a core kind of capability that your company is providing, right? So for a lot of the products that we provide, it's in a sense a no-brainer for some companies because they are buying the best and at a lower cost than, say, trying to experiment or to hire an entire dev team to build that capability. So let me just talk about the recommendation engine, for example.
Sure.
Right, to run a recommendation engine at our level requires at least $2.5 million just to get some engineers going. But if you were to explore this sort of solutions with us, it's going to be way lesser. And definitely for a large e-commerce company, this doesn't move the needle for them. Is definitely okay, right? And they know they are getting best in class recommendations. And on the lower cost front, you get all sorts of APIs that we are trying to push out into the market. For example, our machine learning translation. Right. This is a simple API integration that you can do and just take it up, implement onto your platform. Yeah. So I don't have time to talk about all the different products, but yeah, we've got a range from heavy stuff to light implementation.
Definitely. Just curious, Jeremy. I was just thinking about I do see a lot of live streams and on TikTok and stuff like that. Just wondering if there's a possibility of incorporating different AR, XR, or even MR technologies into the live stream itself. You're able to wear something on the live stream itself virtually to showcase to the audience. Is that something that is in the company pipeline or something that helps with the live stream as well?
So Byte Plus and TikTok operates very differently. TikTok does have their own live commerce roadmap, and then for us, Byte Plus, we do provide every single technology that is needed for this to happen, right? So whether you want to combine your AR with your own proprietary live stream, that can be done. Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
definitely. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And I think all of us learned a lot from Jeremy's presentation. And just on the note of, I remembering very key statistics and insights. You have about 3 to 4 times to recommend to your user recommendations before they give up on the recommendations. So
yes, that's right.
Yeah, make the best of your shots with Byte Plus, essentially. leveraging on their technology and what they have gone through. Thank you so much, Jeremy. It's amazing to have you present here. I'm sure many of you have learned and gleaned a lot of insights from Byte Plus as well as ByteDance. Thank you very much. And do connect to Jeremy as well. So I believe he has flashed the QR code earlier, but if you have not managed to catch that, you can just search it out on LinkedIn. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk further with you. But most importantly is to understand what the customer value that you want to bring, right, before implementing the technologies as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Ching Hong, thank you very much. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, feel free to ask any questions that you have for the next speaker later on during the presentation as well. We have spoken to Jeremy Ang from Byte Plus, and we talked a lot about the different possible technologies that you can bring in from different things like computer vision for augmented reality, speech, music, and audio intelligence, and other advanced video capabilities on both, augmented reality. And of course, next up, we'll be moving on to another different topic, which is talking about meta commerce. So we're moving a little bit more towards the metaverse side of things, and we'll be moving on to our next speaker, none other than the co-founder and chief SEO of Buzz AR, Ms. Belle Bay. So Belle is a lawyer turned entrepreneur, and she runs Buzz AR, a Singapore-based metaverse startup. And she graduated with a master's degree from UC Berkeley, as well as studied the intersections between law and technology. She also serves as the inaugural Interpol Metaverse Group of Experts. Now, Buzz AR is building enterprise solutions to equip businesses in co-creating the metaverse economies. So she's passionate about things like identity, avatar, and how to empower people to be the best versions of themselves. So it's really, really interesting. Just looking through their websites, you realize that they have like in real life metaverse pop-up experiences happening from like London to Singapore, and I believe the next one upcoming might be at Shibuya Crossing. Something to look out for. And they have also developed some of the best cooking games on virtual reality as well. So without further ado, handing the time over to the co-founder and the chief and CEO of Buzz AR, Ms. Belle Bay. Belle, please.
Yeah, thanks, Ching Hong, for the really kind introduction. Hi everyone, my name is Belle, and I'm really excited to share a little bit about our story and possibly like how we can help you as a homegrown company. This is my WhatsApp number because I think sometimes there are too many LinkedIn notification. I may miss you, so I directly pass you my WhatsApp number so you can contact us if you need any further follow-up. Allow me to share my slide. Just like you, today I'm like also learning a lot from Jeremy just now. To get together with Ching Hong, like very, very good summary. And now allow us to share a little bit about Buzz AR and what we do. So we are a 5-year-old company. I cannot believe that this May we reach our 5th year mark. And what we do here is, some of you may know us slightly differently, but later on I can explain. What we want to do is really to create the next gen of e-commerce, which is what we know as meta commerce. I think Ching Hong correctly asked me about the name of Buzz AR. For now, what we do is really to create buzz for companies, but our vision is to help a lot more retailers, a lot more venues to propel their commerce ambitions. So that's where we want to come in. And I'm very, very big on what we call O2O2O. Our O starts from offline first. We believe that in 2023, the largest opportunities lies in offline, and we want to be the leader in this space. Happy to run you through some of our features. Of course, we use generative AI, a lot of location-based AR activation. A little bit about our team. So I think Ching Hong also briefly mentioned, I used to be a lawyer. And I think the reason why most of the guys don't really do this well is because offline space, there are a lot of concern about privacy laws, and if you do this, how you are going to handle this. So I have been doing this since 2021, particularly for the product that I'm going to mention later. And also working very closely with, including IMDA, right? So we want to do this right from day one, and we want to build a consent regime into our O2O system from day one. Happy to co-create with you. Of course, can come from someone that has a tremendous experience in tech, product implementation. He started 2 companies prior to this, so this is his 3rd company. Janine helped us out from the global partnership side. Dr. Yevgung is taking care of the R&D, whereas we are also supported by advisors globally. So allow me to just share a story with you. How I started with this one first enterprise client, and how we grow the business to over 10 key large clients right now. So it's a very humble journey. It's quite interesting that I have to speak after ByteDance, but I'm here to just share candidly with you. So I work for a company called Marina Bay Sands for about 2 to 3 years. So it's quite interesting that for offline setting, not only Marina Bay Sands, but I'm talking about the venues per se, there are not many effective solutions out there to really enhance the user experience offline. And also, can you believe that for Marina Bay Sands, until maybe a few years ago, they still don't know who comes and who goes. I think this problem does not lie only for Marina Bay Sands. Almost every venues, they have this problem. If you don't really drive people to offline, it's almost impossible for venues to know who comes and who goes. And despite the 20 million footfall, 15 million footfall, this same problem persists. And what I do is I went to my big boss much earlier, and I told him that, hey, we have a way to do this better. What if we put fun engagement coupled with good utilities, and now we drive consented data. So the keyword is consented data, right? So what they need to do, it looks almost like this. So user come across their avatar in real time, in real life, at different offline settings. And they are usually very happy. They will snap a photo. And what you see just now, this guy is doing is that after they snap a photo, they have a choice to even download their digital Polaroid. And after if they want to download the digital Polaroid, what this guy simply need to do is to give a thumbs up to indicate consent. Just like what this guy is doing, he is giving a consent. And after giving his consent, what he can do is he can scan the QR code, and now he is on our WhatsApp. And once he is on our WhatsApp, what we have here is not just any WhatsApp, is a AI chatbot that is powered by ChatGPT. We built very deeply with the enterprise clients. Later on, I can explain how. And now it's a frictionless onboarding process that we drive user from offline and it goes online right now. And we further close the loop with gaming applications because we used to be a gaming company. So this problem, as I have also mentioned, is not only for Marina Bay Sands, but for every venues out there. And this is some of the testimonial about how we drive user from offline to online, and we have done it frictionlessly. So for example, like Ian Wilson, the top 3 executive at Marina Bay Sands, prior to his move to NIM, he also gave us a very good testimonial to say that he is smitten by how we solve the offline first O2O. And Mr. Sarab from Millennium Hotels did this with us, and he has got 100x ROIs. How? is because by just doing this with us for 3 weeks, his team managed to get 1,000 plus hotel room bookings and also 100 plus new loyalty members sign up. So then we realized that this is a massive opportunity that not many people are doing it out there. So far in Singapore, we are the one that pioneered this, and we want to serve this severely under-engaged market. So we designed this whole end-to-end metaverse O2O journey for user acquisition offline. And we have effective way to ensure engagement and re-engagement later on. And many of you may say, right, oh, you know, all this XR, it must be very expensive. We have done this for 5 years. And what we do is that we have figured out a way to lower our costs such that we allow you to experience this with us at a very affordable price of 3,000 to 10,000 per month. And these are some of our clients right now. Our key clients come from Singapore and Saudi. We also are doing very well in Hong Kong. So these clients, what they do is, apart from putting the portal at their venue, we also run some what we call the white truffles, right? The proprietary data that they don't really, like for example, a website don't really have. What we do is we train the data for them so that people can easily search any information on MetaChat, our WhatsApp platform. And today, due to the time, I want to keep most part for Q&A. This is our MetaChat. Feel free to scan and you will directly go on our MetaChat, experience it yourself. ChatGPT is great, but we enhance it with convenience because everything right now, if you suddenly have a questions, you can easily just get a answer from our MetaChat. And I'm not sure if you guys have any questions. Happy to take any.
Thank you very much, Belle. It's a very, very interesting project that you worked on from the O2O. I think there's 3 O's involved, right? I was trying to memorize. Yeah, the online to offline to online, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's truly interesting how potentially like people areas with large footfall can essentially understand the demographics of their footfall, and I think that's massively important of value in terms of the choice of tenants probably, and the choice of products that they put out there, and the possible experiences that they can excite their demographic space about. So I think it's a very, very massive engagement, as well as I am actually reminded of an idea that I have come across previously that I saw in Japan. They do actually have a vending machine where they actually scan your look and tell you might actually like this drink, which actually caused quite a stir, which I thought was quite interesting as well. Yeah, very, very cool. You know, integrating the offline and online. And I do believe we have some questions coming from the crowd as well. So are there any events coming up in Singapore where we can see your tech in action coming from Amy? I think she's really interested to see the technology live for herself as well.
Yeah, upcoming, we also have collaborated with a leading telco here to do an exclusive MOU whereby they will carry our product and they will cross-sell it to all their corporate clients. So upcoming, we have one at Suntech. That one is with My Republic. They are part of Starhub Group. So what we do is that we can actually work with the enterprises, and if they see values in what we are creating, we can partner up and we run revenue sharing, referrals. So it's really enhancing and enlarging your revenue. It's not only asking you to spend money on XR solutions.
Thank you very much, Belle. That's very clear ROI, especially for small and medium enterprises where bottom line is often the subject that's being discussed, right? So just out of curiosity, Belle, so you spoke about areas with high footfall, such as like Marina Bay Sands or shopping malls. What about the customers who perhaps, let's say they run an online business, for example? Are there any chances for them to leverage on such activities as well as, you know, from the meta commerce side of things from Buzz AR to leverage on your support to actually gain more traction or customer retention or engagement?
Yeah, so our big niche, right, is really for the bricks and mortar. But how I see it, how come it will be the next e-commerce. Maybe let me just point one of the example. Like one of our leading client is Sinomi. Sinomi is the largest retailer in Saudi Arabia. So what they use us is that they put different portals at their #1 shopping mall, Al Nakhil Mall at Saudi Arabia. So different people, like during all this Ramadan season, they will go and scan the face, right? Then after scanning the face, they give the consent. Next thing is that they are on to our meta chat. And what meta chat can do, right, is also to push notification. So we work with e-commerce platform because Sinomi also have Sinomi.com. So then we push the notification and they can get e-vouchers, they can get digital Polaroid, a lot more benefits for the user. So they don't feel like, hey, you are taking away my data and I don't get anything back. So we really want to make sure that it's almost like a give to get kind of a concept, right? So you give me something, I will give you something back. And at any point of time, if you're unhappy, you can always do thumbs down. Our portal will immediately delete all your data away.
Right. Thank you very much. I think coming from a legal background, you really got it all figured and all taken care of in such attention to details, where in Singapore, privacy is a really, really big topic and issue, right? So that agreement, in the sense of providing a digital gift of your digital avatar, for example, in exchange for, let's say, the right to communicate you in future, is pretty important, right? In that sense.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Belle, for sharing all the upcoming events as well. I think it's really, really interesting. So how we can actually proceed on from offline, to the online platform, as well as online to online. I think that's pretty big as well. So we just want to wish all the best to Buzz AR as well. Seems like they're doing really, really well all across London to Singapore to Japan. And more importantly, the endless online platform, the digital transformation. So for more information, once again, please feel free, if you don't have time to just scan the QR code on screen right now, to just do a screenshot of Belle's WhatsApp contact. I think it's just really, really amazing to give a WhatsApp to you, so that you guys may talk a little bit more about the potential in collaboration, be it small to medium enterprises, or you're from a larger MNC, you're looking at a larger outfit. I'm sure they have like scalable concepts that can apply to your area of business as well. Thank you very much, Belle. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, at the same time, right, we do hope that you have benefited a lot from the sharing. And there's just one last sharing that we have from IMDA Innovation. So as many of you might know, IMDA is leading the charge on innovation as well as digital transformation in Singapore. And for many, many different companies, you might need very different solutions and very, very different resources, from spaces to maybe like specialized labs to test certain technological concept, or even like mentoring or event spaces, production studios. So IMDA has it all, and in different capacity to help you along the way of your digital transformation journey. So to share more on the resources as well as the different programs that you can tap on, we are proud to welcome Ms. Janice Lim from IMDA Pixel to share a little bit more about IMDA innovation and how IMDA can be part of your corporate journey. I'm going to hand the time over to Janice. Janice, please.
Thanks, Ting Hong. I'm sure you have heard this multiple times as well, but I'll keep it very short and sweet today. So like what Ting Hong mentioned, there are a lot of resources available for companies or even startups who want to embark on corporate innovation. So there's two very distinct kind of products that we have. One is, if you guys haven't visited our physical innovation hub, this is actually where we host our startups, and we also have our various labs, such as our AR/VR labs, to help our startups to develop solutions. And the next thing that we have is the Open Innovation Platform. So this is where startups can apply to solve innovative problems that some of our SMEs or our enterprises have put up. So I'll share a little bit more on that later. So if you can think about us as helping you in three aspects, A, B, and C. A is really access to our innovation hub. B is if you're thinking about building a AR/VR solution, for example, this is where we help you to step in to identify what's your use case, help you to think about what are some of the challenges that you encounter, and maybe even down the road, improving the user interface of your AR/VR solutions. And last but not least, the C, which is very important, the community and the connection that we try to build. So this is where our monthly webinar sessions, we attempt to do that. We try to bring the latest technology trends and info to you as well. And over the years, we've been here since 2017. So we have built up that quite a big community. In fact, Belle from Buzz AR has also joined our startup community recently. So if you want to get ideas on what are some of the AR VR projects already done locally and who can, conceptualize the whole thing for you, do reach out to us. We are very happy to connect you with our startups. And last but not least, we also run, in addition to our webinars, we also run a lot of workshops in these areas. So do subscribe or maybe refer to our Pixel website where we have our whole calendar of events up as well. And one last thing that I mentioned earlier, our open innovation platform. So this is where we have our corporates such as Visa, ranging from all your sectors actually. So from Visa, P&G, Singapore Airlines or Mandai, they do have innovative challenges that they want to solve within their organization. They are always trying to think about how can I improve my operations, how can I improve my customer engagement, and this is where our tech solvers or our startups come in to address some of these challenges. So this is an open platform, neutral platform available for anyone to use. So if you would like to find out a little bit more about this, do feel free to reach out to our team as well. And one last slide just to summarize everything I've talked about. So if you don't recall the previous slides, that's fine. So just remember 3 things. One, we're here to support you to identify some of the AR VR use cases that you're thinking about. Second is matching some of the AR tech solvers that we know and have done successful projects. And the third is tapping on our physical space and some of our consultants to help you with your project.